Hi everyone. I wanted to take some time today to explain and to talk about how I got into this business. Not so much the whys, but how this came to be, and how I ended up meeting the wonderful Miss Heather Roundtree. This is going to involve some things as sort of a two-parter thing that I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about, some stuff from the past that led up to this. But let's just suffice it to say that if I say anything that makes you wonder or say, what? And you need more clarification or you have questions, please feel free to message me privately or even comment below if you wish. I have no problems discussing it with anyone who wants to have a fair and honest discussion. So, that said, my story with meeting Heather actually begins last October. I I was pre-hormone therapy at the time, and Tammy and I had been talking about some things that going on, like some facial skin stuff. Good Lord, see, I'm losing my mind. No, I was needed to start a skincare program due to some blotchiness going on and some dry skin up underneath where my glasses sit. So I had heard a lot about Sephora and a support group that I had also joined last spring. They recommended, there was a woman who worked at Sephora that they recommended to me. So I made plans to go to Sephora on a weekend, and I went up there, and I must have paced around outside in the mall for a good 5-10 minutes before I finally went in, because I mean, while I was only going in for skincare, I knew that they also offered transgender beauty classes and did mini makeovers and things like that, and I really wasn't sure that I was going to take this entrance into the store that far, but I was keeping it in the back of my mind. So anyway, I went in and I looked around for a little bit, and I didn't see anyone at first, but then I saw 3 people standing up at the front counter. So I walked over and told them what I was looking for. 2 of them immediately stepped back and said, "This is Heather, she's your gal." So Heather just smiled at me and laughed and said, "Yeah, how can I help you?" So I told her that I was pre-hormone therapy and I needed to start a skincare program. And so she took me over to the products that they had and showed me one by one what there was, and made her recommendations and everything and what each one would do for me and what she thought I could use. And then the discussion actually eventually led into their beauty classes. I had decided at that point I would go ahead and bring it up. Doesn't mean I was going to do anything with it, but you know, information is always good to have. Quite frankly, I've always considered myself to be, you know, I wasn't all that worried about makeup because I always figured I would be the ugly chick. So I wasn't, yeah, it's not that big a deal. Besides, Tammy doesn't wear a lot of makeup, and I think she's perfectly beautiful. So, you know, sometimes more is less, and sometimes you just don't even need it. So, that said, I made plans to come back the following week when I got paid to buy the skincare products. And I thought about it all week long, and when I did come back, I went ahead and scheduled myself for one of their mini makeovers. They had a full makeover, and then also just little individual sessions for whatever issue you were having. So I said, well, you know what, in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's go for it. And so we scheduled the time for that, and I came back on the day, and once again, very nervous. But I made my way into the store, and Heather sat me down in the little stool and started going over one by one all the different areas, all the different products, and the whole process, you know, in place, what needed to be done and how to do it and everything. And she was slow enough and took a lot of care to explain what we were doing each step of the way, and applied it to my face. And I don't know how else to say this other than when we got done and looked in the mirror, she made me beautiful, and it was something I thought would have been impossible. But I mean, I couldn't believe I was looking at myself in the mirror. Um, but here, there I was. So we had a lot of hugs, had took a lot of selfies, and I left that store. I mean, I walked into that store as one person and left a totally different person. So I was astounded by the change. I'm not saying I will never do it again. I'm not saying that I won't do it again. But I don't know when I will be able to do it again. But it's something I probably will want to try again later on down the road. But I don't know. Anyway, that said, so I left the store that day, and later on, after I'd been home and been on online for a little while, I had a friend request from Heather. Okay, cool. That was nice. I don't know why, but all right. So she friended me, and I accepted. And over time, well, first off, later that day, she posted a video on Facebook, and I saw it as I kind of scrolled through some posts. She made a post about her interaction with me in Sephora, and she's explaining about how much it touched her and how much it affected her, that I was her first transgender makeover, that it even had her in tears, all teary-eyed at one point, talking about how special the moment was and everything. And then, yeah, she made me cry too. So she thinks that it affected her more than it did me. I don't know, hon, because you got to me twice, and that was once in the chair and then again watching your video. So I'm ever so grateful and thankful that we had that meeting. So that said, I began following her posts a little bit more on Facebook, and every now and then she would post about her keto coffee and her affiliation with It Works. And she made a post one time using some results photos of herself from keto coffee and chocolate greens. And I was like, wow, okay. So there's obviously a very noticeable difference. And so I responded, I said, what's a chocolate green? And she explained what they were to me. The mixture of fruits and vegetables, and superfoods, and how nutritious and good they are for us and all that. So I said, oh, all right. I said, but I'm not a coffee drinker. And she's like, neither am I. But she told me about how when you mix the two together, it's just like a wonderful, amazing chocolate treat. So I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. Her last words was, trust me. And if there's ever anyone that I will listen to the first time she says trust me, it's her. So because that's twice now I put my trust in her and she did not fail. So I ordered the coffee and the chocolate greens, and I mixed it up, and she was absolutely right, as I expected she would be. It was amazingly rich, decadent chocolate, just like this cannot be good for weight loss. But it was. It did so much wonders for me that I became a religious, loyal customer, follower, whatever. And then in January, when we found out that the Thermophyte X was coming, and she let me know about that, I was one of the first people to get my order in, so that I made sure that I had it, because I know if it works as good as they say it will, lose 30 pounds in 90 days, yeah, I want that. So I ordered, and that came in, and that was working really well. In fact, I lost 10 pounds in that first month. But she went to a conference for It Works in Florida late January, and towards the end of that, I got a message from her, and she asked how the keto products were going and how I was enjoying it and how I was liking the results, and I told her it was absolutely wonderful. I loved them. And then she asked me about, well, what if, would I like to do what she does? Would I like to become a distributor? And inside, I was jumping up and down saying, oh, hell yeah, But I asked questions first. I asked her, well, what exactly would be expected of me? What is it you want me to do? What would I have to do? And she explained it to her, and I think before she could get the next couple sentences out, I just said, yes, yes, please. So she's like, oh, okay. She got me in for $20, and that to me is just, I could not have done it if it was more than that. So, and I feel like there's a lot of you out there the same way. I'm not trying to turn this into a recruitment video, but we're just going to throw this in there real quick. Today's the last day, so Sunday, March 31st. Get in for $20 tonight, or you're back to the regular price tomorrow. So contact me, please. Okay, there's my commercial broadcast, commercial part of the show. Anyway, like I said, Heather, that's pretty much how it took. I got used to those customers, to the coffee and the results and the opportunity and her amazing, wonderful friendship. I learned much more about her and the things that she's gone through, and I said to myself, I'm not going to say, well, if she can do it, I can certainly do it, because let me tell you, there's a lot of things she can do and has done in the past that I couldn't even dream of. So, and there's things that she goes through every day that I don't know how she does it. So, Heather, you are an inspiration to me, and I hope I can only dream of having the success that you do, but I'm going to give it my best. I am not giving up because I've got people under me as well, and I'm not going to quit on them, just like I know you won't quit on us. So that said, that's my story. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. No. Anyway, so like I said in the beginning, today is Sunday, March 31st, 2019, the Transgender Day of Visibility. And I think that's probably a little bit prophetic that I would choose today to make this video, to actually tell you, to physically say it. Yes, I do consider myself to be transgender. Yes, I am taking low-dose estrogen hormone therapy. There are going to be additional changes. These are going to grow. They already are. I had a mammogram last week. They are growing. So I am who I am. You can continue to call me Scott. I don't care. I'm not hung up on names. But if you do feel so inclined, you can call me Paige. Thank you all. I love you. Have a good day.